Hey, hello, how you doing? Yeah. Hey, did you know that I'm on TV today? Yeah, why don't you go to channel 15 and pick it up? You don't have cable. Well, then go to sistermediacouncil.org. You got internet, do you? What do you mean you don't have internet? Oh, for Pete's sakes, who am I talking to? Well, weren't you back in a cave or something? Oh, I'm sorry. You are in a cave. Well, all right. Well, I guess if you can't watch it, I'll have to come visit. In Hawaii? Yeah, I can go to Hawaii. That would be great. All right, well, am I on yet? All right, I got to get back with my guests here. We're on television, we're live, we're going around the world. All right, we'll see you later. All right, well, you have fun in Hawaii. Bye-bye. Well, doggone it. Can you imagine that? Hey, this is Arthur with a new day in Telos. We're on Mount Shasta looking down at y'all people. No, I'm right here in the studio in Weed, California. Do you know where Weed, California is? Well, let me tell you. You go past Mount Shasta City and it's right there at the base of the mountain with a heart. A heart that's so big. And you walk in that heart, now you mean you're walking in the heart because that mountain is your reflection. So hey, today's subject is cancer. Now, for you who don't know that I've had leukemia since 2012, I had leukemia. And the thing that puts it all together is I was finished in Weed, California, and well, approximately 2011. I had finished up with school and everything, and I was ready to make a move, so I went to Mount Shasta. So, I go to the park and I fill up my jugs of water and I go home. I had a nice motorhome, so I cruise around there, drinking the water. Thought I was all cool and everything. But in January when I went there, my blood work was perfect. And before that, clear past November was really good also. Now that means that I was in Weed, California at the time. Now, in January when I pulled in, February, my white cells were dropping, and then so I'm still in Mount Shasta drinking this headwaters. So then March and April and May and June, finally, the doctor says to me, "Look, Arthur, your white cells are being taxed, and there's something in your environment that's causing you that to happen, and we think you have cancer now." So I said, no, not Arthur. Arthur's a healthy guy. He drinks the holy water from the mountain. There's no way that he can have cancer. Well, my blood work started showing signs of something happening when I moved to Mount Shasta. And the most common thing that I had been doing was drinking the water at the city park from the headwaters. Okay? And we'll put a period at that for the moment. So now I'm going and seeing a cancer doctor. I had to go to one, and then I went to another one. And the second one, I really liked the lady. And so she's telling me, okay, we're going to have to hook you up with chemo. And I was like, no, I want to do something to help me naturally. And she said, well, we'll give you 3 months then. So I went home and I just like, really prayed. I was like, God, show me what to do here. So I went to sleep and I had been praying, and in my dream, I could see this phone number. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? And I see this phone number flashing in my head and in the dream. And so I wake up really quick and I write it down. And I look at it and I go, gee, looks familiar. So about 9 o'clock, I gave it a call. Well, it was my friend. And my friend happened to be making suppositories for people who have cancer or other things. And these suppositories were little pieces of coconut oil and cannabis and also THC, and so the whole plant, let's call it. So he was doing these suppositories in boxes of 20 for only 20 days, one for 20 days, and then you give yourself a rest for a couple of days. So I got a couple of them, and I started working with them. Well, I had been talking to Greenheart, and they gave me some samples of things that, like with CBD oil and THC, somewhere THC. And so I actually had quite a better feeling about myself. I had pretty much been like, tired and run down, and I've been was going to school for 5 years, 3 years full time and then 2 years part time. But the thing was that I was tired, and all of a sudden, with all of the THC and CBD oil, I started feeling really good. I mean, I had to control how much I took, but because I was in control of it, I was only taking enough where I was making myself feel really happy and joyful, actually. And I could walk down to the street and I didn't have any pain in my back or my legs. So I was really doing a good thing. So, but the one thing that wasn't happening was it wasn't changing the blood work very much. Okay, they could see it change, but not in a radical way that we were hoping. So that my 3 months were up. A friend of mine gave me a syringe that was probably that big, and there was 3 ounces of CBD and THC. So, needless to say, when I went to do the chemo, I was loaded with it stuff. So, my niece moved to Reading, so I would have a place to stay while I was doing my chemo. So, and in 14, I believe it was, I can't even remember, it's the 12, 13, in 14, they wanted me to go from the day before Thanksgiving to Christmas Eve, six chemo setups, one a week. So I was prepared because you could do chemo and that in itself will kill you. So I was really like going, okay, God, am I gonna die is this my last, my last, whatever, will and testament? I was getting ready. I had my niece all, already set up. So if I was a vegetable, she knew what to do. So I started. Fortunately, there was a taxi cab, and I needed a ride, so it was free to me. So the taxi guy would pick me up in the morning. I had to be there by 8 o'clock. drop me off, and then pick me up at 5 o'clock. So my first day was was all right because I was like prepared. I had the right material, and so they hooked me up, put a plug in here, and then hooked me up to this drip. Actually, they had like five drips. One was something that would help you kind of relax you and maybe a sedative to let you sleep. And then another one was something else, and then pretty soon they got around to the chemo of it. And you could really feel that chemo in the body. I was having a problem with it. So in order to go to the bathroom, you have to pull this, I call her Miss Ivy, and she was it was this real skinny lady with her arms out like this. And my bottle was sitting down here, dripping down on me. So I would have to take her to the bathroom. So I said, Miss Ivy, we got to go to the bathroom. And so we go rolling into the bathroom. I said, excuse me while I go potty, Well, at this one point when I wasn't feeling good, I just took the syringe and I just filled my mouth up. And I just let it dissolve in my mouth, okay? Because that goes right into your system. Excuse me. So the CBD, this was a syringe of 3 ounces. I didn't put the whole 3 ounces in, but I put a mouthful. So I did that, and of course, I walked out feeling really, really good. Because within moments, when you let it soak in your mouth, it'll go into your system. So I felt a lot better, and I took IV and we walked back out. But of course, you're gonna smell that oil. So one of the nurses had walked up to me and she goes, "Whoa, what are you doing in there?" And I told her, well, I was using my syringe for the CBD oil. She said, "CBD oil? What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, you guys should know that on my chart, I'm doing CBD oil. This is my experience, my experiment for myself." And she's like, "Well, I don't know. I gotta talk to your doctor." I said, "The doctor already knows. You can talk to her, call her up, da da da." I went back and sat down, and I was videotaping for Facebook. And I'm introducing Miss Ivy, how she's my friend, to go to the bathroom with me, etc., etc., It was funny. I was laughing. And in the background, I don't know if they were talking about me going into shock because I was laughing and chatting they might probably thought I was talking to myself, but I was talking to the people on Facebook. Live from the hospital. So that was a big hit. A lot of people saw that and they were like, "What, dude, are you all right?" But in the background, you could hear one of the nurses say, "Oh, he's going into shock." Not because I was going into shock or I was laughing, because that syringe had some powerful medicine in it. So they had come over to me and they was like, I said, "What did you just do?" I said, "I just took some CBD oil." And they go, I said, "It's right on my chart." I said, "It's the first thing on my chart. So you guys, if you haven't seen it, well, you better look at it." "Okay, well, okay. So, I guess we will be watching you." I said, "But you seem pretty happy." I said, "Well, that's because I'm feeling good." I got a good amount of CBD, a little bit of THC in my system, and I'm feeling good. So from there, see, 3 weeks later, that was the first day. 3 weeks later, I had my hair, and but everybody else was bald. I mean, the ladies were crying because their beautiful long hair was falling out. The men were putting hats over their head because they were bald. One guy just got fed up and shaved the rest of it off. Excuse me. So this was the thing. I was starting to look and say, wow, there's something different because I have hair. Well, anyway, that was the third week, and they pulled me in. They pulled me in to the doctor's office. The doctor said, I need to talk to you. And I said, okay. So I show up. I had taken a blood test and then showed up. And in Reading, I had to go to Reading for her living in Mount Shasta. So we had, this doctor was really nice. Danica is her last name. She's really a beautiful lady. She's like looking at me and she goes, well, there's something different about you, Arthur. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? Well, you still have hair. I said, yes, I do. Isn't it nice? Yeah, by the third session, most people are bald. And I said, wow, bald. And I said, why? And she said, why to me? Why aren't you bald? I told her, well, I'm doing the CBD oil. And she said, well, I don't know nothing about it. So I happened to have some paperwork and I gave it to her. So I went on to do my chemo deal, did for 6 weeks. She pulls me in. Wouldn't you know I'd have to cough? She pulls me in. And she says, something's different about you, Arthur. And I said, well, now what? She said, you still have hair and you're recovering from your chemo extremely sooner than most people. And I said, how can you tell that? She said, in your blood work, this thing that would be lower or messed up. But he said, these two things are the red and the white blood cells are very, very low. So stay away from people who have colds because you can get pneumonia from a cold. So I took her advice and stayed away from people. And one day, well, she had said something in the environment was still keeping my white and red blood cells down. So I'm like, went up to the headwaters and sat there. And by this time, this was in 2015, we did in 14, 6 weeks from Thanksgiving to Christmas. Now I'm still have to see her every couple of months. But she kept saying, look, something in the environment. So I went to the headwaters and sat down and was praying like I like to do. Like, God, give me some insight, give me some strength, give me some understanding. What's in my environment? What's in my environment? I mean, I got rid of everything that possibly could be. I got rid of a trailer, I put all my stuff in storage, I'm living in a car out in the forest. What's in my environment? Well, I close my eyes when I do my prayers. So I opened my eyes and lo and behold, there was a sign that I had never seen before. It said, this water is not approved for drinking. Drink at your own risk. And I looked at that and I'm like, when was that sign put up there? I said, oh, there must be something wrong with the water. They would have put it up then. This is in 15, and they actually put it up in 2014. So I went and got a kit that shows the acidity or the alkali in water, and I dipped that water in a little jar and I tested it, and it said it was a 4 on the acidic level. And really, that is the worst thing for you to drink, a 4. So I'm thinking, I was horrified. I said, oh my gosh. So I had been reading about water that was pH. So I went to Ray's one day and I saw this bottle of water. It says Real 2 water. It has an 8 pH and a negative ion infused in there. So I grabbed it and I thought, well, let me try this. So I took 2 quarts for every day for 3 weeks. 2 quarts every day for 3 weeks. And you should be doing like a gallon, but I couldn't afford that. But I did 2 quarts for 3 weeks. And I went back to the doctor. And fortunately, I brought a bottle, and she looked at my blood test, and she said, what did you do? She says, your red and white blood cells are up, and all the other numbers that were negative or too high are normal now. So what did you do? And I pointed to this bottle, and I said, look, this is Real 2 water with a negative ion in it. It's a pH of 8. I started drinking this every day. And I stopped drinking the headwaters, which was this 4. And she thought about that for a moment. She said, so what is the city water? I said, if it has chlorine, it's probably very low. It's probably around a 4. Most cities, big cities, have chlorine. And she said, well, what would they drink? And I said, here, have this bottle. So hopefully she found the same bottle that I did. But the thing is here, I tested the headwaters that I thought was the holy water, and it is not. Now, the other day in my first show, we tested it again, and it was a 7. So that means there's a lot of snow runoff. And when I was in Chester myself, it was a 4, and that was in the summertime. So I want to say that even a 7 isn't the best, but it's a lot better than a 4. Put some baking soda or some magnesium in it, and it'll clean it up and give it a pH. Anyway, I only got a couple more minutes here. I want to introduce something to you. We're going to be playing a piece that has every show, 28 shows in a set. So every show will be talked about. It's about a 30-minute piece. So we're going to hook it up here. And you guys have a great time. We're from Weed, California. You can catch us at SiscuMediaCouncil.org, channel 15 cable. And if you're lucky, you might catch us on YouTube. All right, this is Arthur with a new day in Telos from Weed, California. Woo! Y'all have a good night.